So Elon Musk posted yesterday, grow food yourself? Huh. What a concept. I mean, I think this guy, he's getting more and more switched on. And I just wish he would get rid of this whole EV thing. Like, he's still got that climate cult, ingrained in him. And the truck came out. So I've done videos before on this. I believe the EV revolution is dead. Okay. Time will tell if I'm right or wrong. But he said originally when this truck would come out, it would be affordable, starting at around $40,000 for the average consumer for the low end model. Okay. There's different models. You got a two-wheel, just like trucks, you have a two-wheel drive and then you have a four-wheel drive. This picture was posted over at Twitter, and it shows this guy, the new truck. Someone got the new truck, because the trucks are going out to consumers now, and it can't even fit a bicycle in the back. How are you going to use? Yes, grow food yourself, Elon. We have homesteads. We're farmers. That amazing concept. But you're not going to be able to use this truck to do it because you can't even fit a bicycle in the back. You might be able to fit some groceries in the back, but maybe a few bags of trash, but not actual things that you're going to be used, for everyday farm life to grow food. See, this truck is not compatible with people who need to do things for themselves. Anyway, the truck prices coming out this week are, I believe, $60,000 starting. That's for the two-wheel drive version. But if you want the four-wheel drive version, or they call it the all-wheel drive version, and you truck owners know there's a difference between real, true four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So the all-wheel drive version will cost you $70,000, and then there's a loaded model for $90,000. No. This is not going to end well. It's just not going to end well. But let's go through a bunch of stuff today. I got a whole bunch of article headlines I want to share with you today. And I want to share with you some amazing comments that have been left on my channel recently and some other comments I've seen on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know over at patreon.com, we're still giving away these PDFs. These are the herbal extract books. These are out of copyright, out of print. This guy lived, back in the 1800s, and these books, if you buy them on Amazon, are going to cost you around $1,000 a piece, and a lot, they're cheaper at other places if you download the PDFs. But I'm giving you can join my Patreon for $1 a month, and I'll give you access to these downloads. All kinds of herbal tinctures and stuff like that are included. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions about these gold backs. I had someone gave me one of these years ago, okay, at a speaking event, and said, "Hey Zach, here, you can have this, and tell me what you think." And I've kept on to it. I've never bought any more of these things, but I've had a lot of people recently ask me my opinion about the gold backs, and I will give you my opinion on Patreon this week. So if you're into that, you can sign up for Patreon for $1 a month. If you join at higher levels, I really appreciate that, because you're supporting the channel. But it gets you in the door just for as little as $1 a month. And you can have access to the PDFs for those books, and then all the other videos and stuff. We're also on our Discord server too. We're going to talk about this week how to build your soil cheaply for your garden. We'll talk about that Wednesday on Discord. That's patrons only. All right, here's the deal. Here's some headlines. The Atlantic came out with this article the other day. Inflation is your fault. Your fault. If people are so mad about high prices, why do they keep buying so many expensive things? So it's your fault. And this is exactly what you will see in inflation. You will have the government, because the reality is the blame lies in only one place. Whenever inflation throughout history has taken place, the blame only comes down to one entity, and that is the government. And so the government and its propaganda wing, which is the media in this case, will put the blame on anything and everything except themselves. Okay? Inflation is only a result of one thing and one thing only all throughout history, every single time, no exceptions. It's about money supply. When the government prints too much money, inflation happens. It's as simple as that. It's always been about money supply. But they will blame it on you. They will blame it on corporations and high prices. We'll get to that in a second. They will blame it on war. They will blame it on greed. They will blame it on everything but themselves. But inflation has always been about money supply. Money supply. Let's take a look at some of Joe Biden's tweets this week. He got fact-checked twice.
Come on, man.
Over at the formerly Twitter, now called X, President Biden posted inflation was 0% last month and our economy grew by more than 5% last quarter. Bidenomics. And of course, this got fact-checked because this is gaslighting at its finest. Tweet is referring to the PCE index percentage change from the preceding month. Inflation is normally assessed annually, 12 months. However, the Fed's PCE goal is 2%. It is currently 3%. A more commonly referenced inflation index is CPI, which shows annual inflation of 3.2%. You love it when the president gets fact-checked on the... This is why people hate... The left hates Twitter, because you can get fact-checked on Twitter, and it goes both ways. And then he posted this: let me be clear to any corporation that hasn't brought their prices back down. Oh, it's the corporation's fault. Even as inflation has come down, it's time to stop the price gouging. Give American consumers a break. Again, gaslighting. As long as the inflation rate is positive, fact check, prices are increasing. The fact that inflation has come down to 3.2% in October means that prices are still going up, albeit at a slower rate. They will blame it on everything and everyone else except themselves. Government won't stop spending money, Congress, and the Fed won't stop printing money. Until that happens, inflation will continue to go up. Now, let's look at some of these headlines as a result of inflation. Over at notthebee.com, you should check out this website. Social media is exploding with women complaining about how life is unaffordable now. Let's talk about it. And it goes down and talks about this video of a Pennsylvania critical care nurse going viral on TikTok for calling out how hardworking Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. She says, growing up, we were told to go to college and get a degree to work to support our family. Here we are, did that. Now what? I can tell you that this whole movement of telling everyone to go to college and making sure everyone gets a good education and everyone goes to college and gets that degree, what you've done is you've made everyone have something, and then that something becomes worthless. If everyone has it, it's not worth much. Stay tuned. Over at Fox Business, employers are fed up with college waste and opt for skilled blue-collar workers instead. Blue-collar cash author and former construction worker Ken Russ says that trades are a viable alternative to college education. It says right here, employers don't value college degrees as much as originally thought, recent survey data shows. And the disdain is behind a restored appreciation for blue-collar job seekers that bring skill and experience over education. That's because the education isn't worth anything. They're not teaching you anything. They're not teaching you how to, do math or how to, geography or geometry or anything that actually, sciences. No, they're teaching you all about rainbows and unicorns. That's in gender studies. There's nothing to be taught. There's nothing to be learned at these colleges anymore. And so, you know what? As a business owner, I'm going to go out and hire people who I know actually have skills, who can show up on time, sober, and not complain about it. This is another TikTok video from Business Insider. A nurse with a full-time job and 2 kids made a tearful TikTok video about living paycheck to paycheck. But Joey B says the economy's great.
Come on, man.
Over at the Daily Dot, I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and can't function. A worker who makes $34 an hour says she can't even pay bills, fill up her car to get to work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to get worse. This is not going to be pretty for any of us. This is going to affect every single one of us. And I don't care how much you've prepared, how much you have stored up, what you've put your investments in, the shiny metals or not. It doesn't matter. This is going to hurt every single one of us. Nobody is going to come out unscathed.
It's a huge sandwich, and we're all going to have to take a bite.
Now I want to take a look at some of our amazing comments that I have seen this week on YouTube. Here we go with our first one. I might be 72 years old, but I'm not stupid. When I bought my first Silver Eagle for $20, I saw it was a government mint coin with a face value of $1. And it's true, a Silver Eagle coin has $1, face value on it. And I wondered why it took 20 $1 bills to buy that Silver Eagle. So I tried an experiment. I took it to the bank and asked how much I could get for the Silver Eagle, and the teller said $1. When I got home, I took out 20 $1 bills, put them on the table, and spread them out next to the $1 Silver Eagle, side by side. I looked at the Silver Eagle, and I looked at the 20 $1 bills, and I realized that the reverse was true. It wasn't that the Silver Eagle was worth $20. It was that each dollar bill was only really worth 5 cents each when compared to one Silver Eagle. My goodness, I realized what they meant by the dollar losing its purchasing power. I sat there in shocked silence for quite some time, seeing the reality of this sight in front of me on my kitchen table. Okay, next comment. I saw a well-known brand candy bar that was selling for $2.50. That same candy bar was 5 cents in the 60s when I was a kid, but here is the kicker. The candy bar that I bought back then was 4 times larger than the candy bar I see in the store for $2.50. What I'm saying is that the price of inflation does not even consider shrinkage in portions. So you have to take the inflation figures, double that, and then multiply it by 4. This is what's commonly known as shrinkflation. Okay, you go to the store and the packages and things that you're buying are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And not only that, the ingredients that they're using in these products are getting swapped out for cheaper, lesser quality ingredients. Most things that you see today, you go buy a bag. Here, I'll give you a great example. You remember the old cans of Pillsbury biscuits? You know, the kind that you peel the paper off and then you knock it on the counter and it pops open and you have all the biscuits in there. Those are some of the most horribly chemically laden foods that you can buy in the store today. I mean, you can't even read the ingredients on the back of that thing. The entire label is full of ingredients. Back in the day, 40 years ago when I was a kid growing up, Mom would come home and she'd buy those things and she let me always pop them on the counter. You rip them off and you pop them on the counter. If you look up the ingredients, because you can still find out the old archived ingredients back online. Compare that with today. They're not even close. So what corporations have done is they've made things smaller, okay? And they've made things cheaper, cheaper ingredients, which are a bunch of chemicals that are not wholesome whole food ingredients anymore. You're getting a smaller product and you're getting a much lesser quality product, and you're paying more for it. Guys, we have been in a depression for years, but you don't realize it because they've done so many smoke and mirrors to keep you awake or to keep you asleep and from waking up to the fact of the reality that you're in a giant boiling pot and it's almost ready to boil over. I would have produced my own vegetables, but I don't have a yard. Biden needs to put the food prices down. He's giving everybody a depression. I used to love going to the grocery store but now I hate it. They're downsizing their packaging, taking the raisins out of cinnamon raisin bagels, things like that, and making us pay out the backside. Well, I agree. This is another example of shrinkflation, where you're putting in less ingredients to your things and you're raising the prices and things are getting smaller. Here's the deal, though, and this is something that I have made a prediction before on my channel, is that at some point, the government and Biden, they're going to come out and they're going to do price controls. They're already talking about these corporations needing to lower their prices because they're gouging customers. It's these corporations' fault, these greedy CEOs and board members who sit up in their ivory towers and take all your money. And most of the public will buy that because it's easy. However, the reality is they will come out and they will demand price controls. And because usually, historically, that's what happens when you have times of inflation. The government comes in because they can't take the blame for themselves, and they will instill and install price controls on these corporations, and all that does is make things worse. The reason the corporations are raising the money is because they can't afford the workers to pay them, what they want to be paid, and so they're having to raise the prices on all the products. They can't afford all the regulations, all the red tape. All of that stuff costs lots of money. The taxes go up. These corporations can't afford. The margins are so small right now. If you're a small business owner, the margins are razor thin. You're barely making it. It's the same with these corporations. If you're a small business owner and you're seeing these small margins, the bigger corporations are seeing those razor thin margins also. I've said before, Subway is on the verge of collapse. The people who own Subway franchises in these stores, they're on so many razor thin margins. They're basically breaking even or not making any money at all. And they hate. I talked to a manager a while back, and she said, "I hate when they come out with all these foot-long deals and all these other deals. I make no money on these. I lose money on these things, And so Subway is on the verge of collapse. They have no margins. All these corporations don't have the margins either. So their only choice is to raise prices. And then you have the administration coming out and saying, "You're gouging customers. You're taking advantage of people." And the people are like, "Rah, rah, rah." And the corporations are like, "You know what? I'm out. I'm going out of business. And I'm going to lay off thousands of my employees because I can't do business anymore." And then all that does is, "Rah, rah, rah, you've laid off all these people." And Eventually, as time goes on, it works its way back around to the government, and usually they pay the price with the torches and pitchforks that do inevitably result. The last distraction that they will do, and I've said this before again on my channel, historically, is they will go to war, because war is the ultimate distraction. Some false flag event, some horrible set of circumstances envelops, and everybody joins together in patriotism and rah, we have to go to war against these evil, maniacal Chinese or Russians or whoever. And then, the government's like, woo, so happy I avoided that torch and pitchfork and tar and feathers. Now we're going to war. And then the military industrial complex makes a whole bunch of money, which invigorates the economy. But here's the reality. I don't think that that's going to happen this time. We'll see. I think the war's going to happen. I think we're gearing up for that. But this can go a lot of ways. Either way, it's going to be bad for everybody. I really appreciate the comments that you guys leave, because you guys are very insightful. And, I was able to make a video on it today. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Are you guys struggling? Let me know if you're a small business owner. What kind of margins are you seeing right now? I know some of you guys are barely getting by. I hear from you. So leave a comment below. If you're finding, here's the challenge. If you're finding ways to get by, if you're finding ways to cut corners, leave a comment below on that, because your comment may help someone else who's trying to get by and figure out ways to cut corners also. The number one thing you can do is to become a producer. Homesteaders, that's what they're doing. Even if you're living in somewhere in the suburbs or semi-rural or even the cities, people are trying to get chickens. That's why there's this big push throughout all these communities to get chickens nowadays, because it's like, it's in some way I can be a producer, in some way I can cut down on my food cost. Leave a comment below. Let everyone else know what you're doing. All right, guys. Hey, listen, make sure to join our Patreon. We are going to be doing some things over there. Again, the gold back stuff. I'll do a review on that. And then also just message me over there. If you join and you don't see the links for these books, I will message you back with the link where you can download these books. Okay. And you can join for as little as $1 a month. And if you join for higher than that, I appreciate that. And, bless you for doing that. Check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our Stupid Should Hurt shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less stupid. And we got a lot of stupid in the world right now. And just not nearly enough hurt. Leave a comment if you agree. See you next time at the Homestead. Bye! 2023 is almost over, and a recent Bloomberg article states that the central bank gold buying binge around the world is bigger than anyone previously thought. And in mid-November of 2023, the Dutch central bank admits that it is ready for a new gold standard, having equalized all of its gold reserves relative to its GDP. Like it or not, everyone in the world's banking sectors understands that the U.S. reserve currency status is going to fail. The U.S. dollar today is not backed up by anything of value, and that now includes oil. In fact, our national debt is now larger than our entire GDP. Just the interest alone on our debt is larger than our entire military budget, and it's only getting bigger. Congress won't stop spending money, and the Fed won't stop printing money. The smart money around the world is moving to gold and silver, and you can too. AmericanGoldEscape.com can help. If you have money and cash reserves banked away, or if you have savings in a 401k or IRA, and you want to move that money to physical gold and silver, AmericanGoldEscape.com will begin that process for you. This company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and will answer any questions you have about safeguarding your wealth. Time is running out. Do not wait any longer to visit AmericanGoldEscape.com. Link is in the description below. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.